Hey guys, I'm April from Giggle Glitter Graphics, and today I am working on masterboards. So I started a couple masterboards here, and this one I was working on using up some washi tape. I have quite the collection going on here. So I used a combination of washi tape and scraps and was just kind of making some stripes here. This is not done, neither is this one. I think I need to start adding some stitching and paint and things like that. But as I was looking at these, I was realizing how colorful and bright they are, and everything in the journal I'm working on is colorful and bright. And I decided that I needed to make something a little more neutral. So today I'm gonna make kind of a neutral colored masterboard. Well, I'm gonna attempt to anyway. I have a tendency to want to use a lot of paint and things, so bright colors are my jam, but then everything is like an explosion. So I've grabbed some vellum and I've printed some of my, reaching over here, some of my vintage collage journal cards and one of the pages onto some vellum. I had a little printer mishap, but I think that just adds some age to it. I've got some smearing there as well. I didn't get my paper in quite straight, but not a big deal for this project. And I've got this piece of packing paper. We went to a vintage store over the weekend and I got myself a little something something, and this is what was wrapped around it, and I thought it was such a nice tan color. It wasn't that dark brown packing paper, and I saved it. So I just tore off a section of it. It was perforated and I was like, let's work with that one little section. So I've got this as a tan base. And I thought maybe I'd start off with some stamping. I'm gonna go with black ink today, and I don't use a lot of black ink, but I think I'm gonna go with the black ink. And I've pulled a couple background stamps. Now, I don't own a huge collection of stamps. I have been purchasing them when I see them at the thrift store. So I've grabbed the few that I have, and I figure for this project, these should be just fine because this is just kind of a base layer. So I've got this kind of, I almost call it a beachy kind of batik pattern, this a little more grungy industrial pattern, and then some text. This stamp, I like it, but it's not very defined. The words are all kind of mushy, but again, it's a background. So this is a great use for those stamps that maybe just have seen better days. And I am just gonna use my black ink and just not get even coverage. And I'm just gonna start stamping and see how that goes. Kind of fill in the space and build some layers. And then we'll build some layers on top of that and on top of that and end up with some kind of a mixed media, wonderful finished product, hopefully. So I know some of you have mentioned making masterboards in the comments on some of my videos. So I'd love to hear from some of you if you want to comment below on what you like to use to make your masterboards, what kind of supplies you use, and what kind of colors you like to do. Do you stick to kind of a vintage theme? I'm always excited to hear what people are doing, what kind of supplies they're using, and oh, that definitely needs to be inked again. And just what y'all are up to. It's fun to hear about all that. I think that's good enough for now. I'm not gonna kind of coat the whole thing, but it's gonna get a little bit of texture that's going to show through for me. And now I'm not sure, as usual, there's no plan here. I'm not sure if I want to go straight to vellum. That pattern does show through a little bit. Or if I want to put some paint, let's get the paint. I think we should put some paint on here. I've got this portrait pink. It's kind of a skin tone, and I know that's kind of a weird color to start with. Where is my brush? I could use my fingers, but I did get a brush. Here's the brush. And I thought that because this is a background, I just got paint all over myself. It's kind of behind everything, that maybe this pink color, I don't know, would be like a neutral. I thought it would be fun to play with. It's going to be fairly translucent. This is not, what is this? This is Artist Loft paint, so it's not a super thick bodied paint, not like, Liquitex or some of the other brands that are higher quality artists acrylics. I love Artist Loft paints. I have quite a few. I dabbled in pour painting for a while. I keep closing this because I'm worried it's gonna drip all over my table. So I dabbled in pour painting for a while. So I have quite a bit of Artist Loft paint in different colors in my stash. All right, a little more. There. I kind of like where that's going. That kind of like filled in those empty spaces between the stamps, softened the edges of them. I'm gonna let this dry really quick and then see what it looks like after it dries, because things darken up a little bit. All right, my paint is dry, and I did go ahead and cut out all those little rectangles on the vellum sheet. And I thought I would just start kind of placing them. I'm going very geometric, even though this is freeform in the background. I wanted to keep these rectangular shapes and go with a little bit of a geometric look, though I don't know how much of that I'm gonna have in the long run. Maybe I can turn some of these more abstract ones sideways. That could be fun. Like that, and kind of vary it. And I'm gonna go ahead and use all of these. Let's see, like that. And just lay these out. Boy, some of these have objects. This one used to have a ship on it and it got all smeared. I guess it doesn't really matter. Very, like, which way does it go? All right, this is all gonna get cut up anyway, so this doesn't matter too much. And I'm just gonna use my Oohoo glue stick on some scrap paper here and glue all of these down. And my hopes is, this is vellum, and sometimes the glue wants to kind of look funky through the vellum. I'm hoping that with the distressed background, and if I get a good layer of glue, that won't be the case. This is a little experimental. That's gonna definitely want to curl up a little bit. And let's get our lady on here. Smooth her down. And I really like how that looks. Now it is curling, paper's curling a little bit, but it's down really well. It's sticking. So I think this is gonna work just fine. And I am just gonna work my way through all of these. I've got all of my vellum pieces down and I'm really happy with how these look. I like that it lets some of that background come through. So I thought that I've got all these kind of geometric shapes with the squares. So I grabbed this circle stencil and some Liquitex Basics paint. This is unbleached titanium. It's an off-white color. It's pretty thick, it's old. I'm getting to the bottom of the bottle. And this is just a makeup brush. I buy these to paint with and to do dry brushing with. They're really cheap. And if I mess them up, I'm not too worried. And I'm just gonna dab a little of that paint off on a paper towel. And let's see how this goes. I'm not sure. I don't think I've used this stencil, so I'm not exactly sure how this is gonna look, but I have a good feeling about it. So let's try to overlap some of the vellum. That's kind of a fun effect. I like that. We're gonna kind of carry on with that. So get some paint and then I want to overlap some of these edges, but I don't want to obscure too much of my prints on there. So, oops. And then I go right over it. That's all right. There's going to be a lot more stuff on here, or at least a few more things, so I'm not too worried about it. So let's get some circles all over here. So I've let those dry, and now it's time to add more things. So this may or may not be a spoiler. I don't know if I've done a Thrifty Thursday video with these yet or not, but I got these little packs of stamps. They probably came from like Alibaba or Temu or one of those kinds of websites, but they were at the thrift store. I had a bunch of packs of these, so I grabbed some of the neutral ones, and these have moons all over them. And I haven't looked at them a lot, so I kind of want to see, ooh, I didn't know some of these had colors. Look at that one. I think some stamps on here is going to be a lot of fun. I like the moons. I like how some of these have a slightly colored border. That's a lot of fun. Now you'll notice I'm not inking anything today. I don't want those hard edges. I was looking for a very soft, kind of neutral collage today. How many moons can I use? I don't think I can provide a link for these. I'm really not sure where they came from, and the whole package is in Chinese, I think, so I'm not really sure. I like that it has this backer card though. I'm definitely going to be able to use that as well, which is fun. It says Cosmic Fantasy. So you can try Cosmic Fantasy stamps. Do a little Google search. And then I wasn't sure if I wanted to do some bugs. They looked pretty neutral as well. I have several other packs, but these were all the most neutral looking ones. So let's dump out some bugs here. And there's a little blue in that one, so something like that. What else do we have? Want some more buggy bugs. Those are snails. Let's do some snails. I love it. Brings me joy. Can't do that one. There. I think that's enough stamps. I don't want to go stamp overboard. Now these are all stickers, so I am just gonna peel and stick them. So you can see as I'm doing this, I'm kind of using the stamps to go over some of the edges and kind of blend things together a little bit. I'm just crossing those boundaries. I think that's really what makes these collages work, is you just cross the boundaries over and over and over again until you end up with kind of a cohesive pattern that looks like it was intentional. I'm going to keep sticking these down. These are not coming off, the backer's not coming off very easily. So I'm going to finish this up really quick. All right, the stamps are all down and I want to add more paint, but before I do that, I think it needs a little something else. So I've grabbed my, what is this, a 2-inch circle punch, and I've got this piece of alcohol ink. This is a printable of mine from my shop. You can find a link to that in a description down below, but I'm just punching out a bunch of circles. And I thought that they might be fun to place on here. We'll see. I'm trying to get a bunch of different colors, but I'm sticking with this. I've got this neutral sheet. I do have brighter colors in the set. I had printed them because I thought I might use them, and then I was like, you know what? I need to tone it down a little bit. So let me see. Punch a couple more of these. I'm not sure if I need like another size circle. I'm not sure. I'm just playing with it and we'll see what we get. Let's try laying these out a bit. I'm gonna go off the page probably a bit with these and then I'll trim them up. But I think it might fill in some of those spaces. Make me think of little moons, kind of. I like how that looks. That's cute. I think we need a little more though. Punched a bunch and then I realized that the margin was bigger on that side, so I'm gonna sit those to the side. I could probably use them as long as I was careful about putting some paint or something over those, but I can use one right there. I'm going off the edge, right like that. Let's do a dark one. And honestly, I think that's it. I think that's enough little circles. All right, I'm gonna glue these down with my Oohoo glue stick. I got all my funky circles glued down and I think it's time for one last layer of paint. I'm gonna get back into this lighter, what was that again? Bleached titanium. And I'm gonna use my paper towel, and I'm not sure, I should test this on a piece of paper first. I was curious if it would leave kind of a paper towel texture. And I can't really see it very well on the white paper. I'm gonna try it. Let's see. I'll just kind of grab some of that. I might need a lighter paint. So let's try. Oh, that did exactly what I thought it would. So it kind of is giving that little bit of a paper towel texture, kind of a blotchy. I'm gonna guess that texture is gonna fill up a little bit and not be as pronounced as I get too much paint on the paper towel. So oh, I missed one. Let's glue that one down real quick. I am gonna cover this with little kind of blotches from my paper towel. And then I might add some gold paint? I can't decide. I can't decide if I want the gold paint or not. There we go. Paint all over my fingers. But I'm just using this to kind of, again, blur those edges between items. And I don't know, once I kind of cut these all apart, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with them. I might put some stickers or fussy cuts on top. They might be nice on their own. I'm not sure. I guess it just depends on each individual one. What it looks like after I snip them apart. Now I do plan to make a video after this one. My next video is going to be using my Masterboards to make things for my journal. So keep an eye out for that video. And yeah, we'll come up with some fun ways to use these collage sheets, these ones and the other ones that I showed you at the beginning. I'm gonna probably finish up work on those as well today. And then I have all of them to pull from to make some cool collage things, though, or cool things for my collage journal. There we go. All right, so that has kind of pulled it all together a bit. I can see, make sure all my stickers are down. I've still kind of preserved the imagery from the vellum pieces, which I'm very happy about. Sometimes when you collage, you can end up kind of covering everything up. And then you're like, oh no, that thing that I really, really liked totally disappeared. Got paint all over my table. I'm gonna have to clean that up. Do we spatter some gold on this? Do we do it? I think maybe we might need to. This is, oh gosh, this is a very old bottle of Deco Art, a Dazzling Metallics. I don't know if they make this still. And I'm going to need some sort of brush to spatter this with, and some cover for my table. Hang on one second. And I changed my mind. So I was looking at how geometric everything was on here, and I thought that paint splatters was going to be a little too organic for this. So I grabbed this industrial kind of diamond plate stencil, and I'm gonna just stencil my gold right over everything and see how that looks. This is pretty dark gold. I don't know, I'm just gonna go for it. See how that comes out. Yeah, I don't mind that. Let's do that. Just little bits of it here and there. Did I just dropped my stencil right into the titanium paint. There we go. And now I've got paint all over my fingers. That's how it goes sometimes, huh? So I think this is going to be a nice finishing touch, and it's going to add a little bit of bling, but not get rid of that neutral theme that we're going for. And hopefully this is going to be a nice background for other things once I cut these apart. If not, then it's going to make some really interesting, cool pockets. I'm not sure if I'm going to randomly cut this or strategically cut this. Random can be kind of fun, except for, like, I don't want to lose something like her face, or so we'll see. We'll see how that comes out. We'll see how it shakes out in the end. You guys can look forward to me making that kind of a decision. I really need to get some of these edges here. Well, I've let it dry. I have cleaned up my mess. Got the extra paint off my work surface. And I'm really happy with how this came out. I am going to go through and look for any loose edges and glue those down. I see a little bit here and there. It's pretty thick. I'll have to see how it is once it's cut apart. If I feel like it's too thin, I might back it with some book pages or vintage ads or something like that, just to kind of, in fact, I might back it anyway because the ink has soaked through. But this came out even better than I expected. So keep an eye out. I will be doing a video where I use my Masterboards in my collage junk journal. As always, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.